Good morning students, welcome back to social science class. Today we are going to learn fourth chapter from history, ancient civilizations of the world. In the previous class you have learnt Indus Valley and Vedic civilization. Today let us learn other ancient civilizations of the world. In this chapter you will learn the great civilizations of the world like the Egyptian civilization, the Mesopotamia and the Chinese civilization, the political, economical and religious conditions, and then art and architecture of different civilizations. Today let us learn only about the Egyptian civilization. Most of the civilizations in the world developed on the banks of river. Egypt, Mesopotamia, India, China were the first sites of human settlements. Valleys of the rivers like Nile, Euphrates and Tigris, Indus, Huangho have helped the great civilizations to flourish. Which are the factors that helped in the growth of civilizations means deposition of fertile alluvial soil caused by the river floods, continuous and uninterrupted supply of water for irrigation and domestic purpose, favorable climate generally found on the river valleys, plenty of food, fruits and vegetables for men and fodder for their animals. River valleys helped in fishing. They also helped in the growth of trade and communication by providing means of transportation. So these are the factors which helped the development of civilization. Let us know about Egypt. Egypt is in the northern part of African continent. It has geographically accessibility to Europe and Asia. The desert on the east, south and west, the Mediterranean Sea to the north provided natural defense for Egypt. Egyptian civilization was one of the long-lasting and rich civilizations known to the world. Egypt always referred as gift of Nile. The Egyptian civilization flourished on the banks of the river Nile between 3000 BCE and 900 BCE. River Nile, flowing northward, has formed most fertile plains of 15 to 20 kilometers on either side. Because of Nile, plenty of food, fodder, and uninterrupted supply of water was possible. The food security provided sufficient leisure for the growth of civilization. Nile is born in thick equatorial forest of Africa. Hence, Egypt is called the gift of Nile. Just because of a river Nile, Egyptian civilization developed. That's why it is called gift of river Nile. In this map, you can see river Nile and then also lower Egypt and upper Egypt parts. Next, let us come to political condition during Egyptian civilization. How was their administration? The Egyptian kings were called pharaohs. They were considered as representative of God on the earth, hence they enjoyed unlimited power. The institution of pharaohs was so strong that pharaohs had legitimate control over the state and religion. The strong central government with the absolute monarchy, a well-controlled administration, and strict implementation of laws were the basic features of Egyptian polity. What do you mean by monarchy? Monarchy means single person rule. Here, Pharaoh was everything. Why I just told you that they were considered as a representative of God on the earth. That's why people used to obey them. And hence, they enjoyed absolute power and they were able to control everything. In the picture, you can see that it's an image of Pharaoh. And then, how was the society organized? Let us go with the picture what is given that Pharaoh was in a higher status. Next to that, priest class and noble class people were there. And next to them, merchant and scribes and other people were there in the next strata. And last class were slave class. Slave class were the one who suffered a lot during this period. Let us know in detail. Egypt had a well organized society. There were three classes: the upper class, the middle class, and the slave class. The upper class included the royal family, the priests, the nobles, and the military officials. The upper class lived in adorned villas and they led the life of comfort and luxury. The middle class included physicians, scribes, craftsmen, merchants, and farmers. The lower class or the slave class formed at the last strata of the society. They lived a very hard and tough life. When it comes to women, how was the condition? Egyptian women enjoyed an exceptional high status. Such high status was not enjoyed by the women of any other civilization. That is why the Egyptian civilization has a credit of being ruled by first empress in the world, Hatshepsut. Women had equal share in the ancestral property, and then internal marriages were common in royal class, and they used to maintain the purity of blood by marrying their own daughters and sisters. The pharaohs used to get married their own daughters and sisters. And let us see the economic condition. How was the economic condition? It was an agrarian economy. Agrarian economy means it is based on agricultural activity. It just happened because of river Nile, and it just provided water facility to prosper in agricultural activity. The land in the beginning was cultivated by hand, and slowly they started using the other equipments. They grew crops like wheat, barley, cotton, peas, garlic, and variety of fruits and vegetables. And then afterwards, when it comes to other factors, Egyptians developed variety of crafts and manufacturing: stone cutters, masons, carpenters, jewelers, potters added luxury and comforts to rich people's life. They were aware of using copper, brass, gold, and iron. They had trade relations with Mesopotamia and Asian countries. Egyptians had developed both internal and external trade. They traded with the people of East Mediterranean and Red Seas, which includes present Syria, Lebanon, and Yemen. And as usual, they were also using barter system. Barter system of exchange, exchanging goods for goods is called barter system. And they used to collect taxes on agricultural products, traders, and craftsmen, and the taxes were collected in the form of cash and kind. Let us know the writing of Egyptian people. Egyptians developed pictographic writing. Pictographic writing means which is going to symbolize the pictures. It is one of the earliest forms of writing, and Egyptian writing is called hieroglyphics. Glyph means a sign. Hieroglyphics contains hundred of signs. Some of them stand for complete words, while others represent sounds. Papyrus was used to write, and papyrus, see that the Book of Dead, coffin text, the story of shipwrecked sailor, the the tale to Anup and Bittu is a important books which we have discovered related to Egyptian civilization. Hieroglyphics is also known as sacred writings. Let us come to the important part: religion. Religion Religion played a significant role in the life of people. They followed polytheism. Polytheism means worshipping many gods, that is called polytheism. Egyptians built many temples for gods. Ra was the sun god, Osiris was the god of life and death. Next, they believed in the life after death. They preserved the dead bodies and it was known as mummies. The priest class enjoyed lot of status. In the picture you can see the different gods which was worshipped by Egyptian people. Mummification. This is one more very interesting fact about Egyptians. Egyptians believed that man had to give an account of his deeds on the earth to Osiris, the most powerful god of life and death. The priest considered that life on the earth was temporary and was needed only to prepare for the next life. Thus, the whole of the Nile valley was reserved for the dead. The dead body would be smeared with various chemicals and wrapped in a thin cloth. The entire body was in this way preserved. The body protected thus was called mummy. It would be kept in a specially designed coffin. The grave was considered the true place for an Egyptian. Hence, all around the dead body, items needed for daily use and small dolls of a cook and barber would be kept to fulfill the future needs. In the beginning, graves were created by carving into rocks in the hills. As the Egyptians moved north, they had to construct graves in the desert itself. Tall towers were built on these graves using huge blocks of stone in order to protect the eternal sleep of the dead. Kings and wealthy people viewed with the rich other to build taller and taller towers. These tall towers are called pyramids. The pyramids is nothing but it's a place for keeping the dead bodies of pharaohs and other rich people. Do you know, children, all these pyramids were constructed by the slave class people itself. The slaves were used to construct pyramids and also other huge structures. And after this, let us come to art and architecture of Egyptian people. Egyptians were great builders. They developed fine arts. Their art and architecture reflected their culture. They built temples for their gods and pyramids to bury their kings. The walls of temples and pyramids are carved with beautiful sculptures and decorated with beautiful paintings. They used sandstone, limestone, granite, and wood to carve the statues. Their art and architecture survived the blows of nature. They are the proofs of a well organized and high skilled artists, craftsmen, and laborers. The Sphinx is one more example for their artistic skills. The Sphinx, which has head of a man and body of a lion, is a beautiful structure. It is carved by the Emperor Khafre. It is 240 feet long and 66 feet high, carved out of single stone. Here you can see the picture of Sphinx and backside you can see the pyramid, Giza pyramid. The pyramid of Giza is the tomb of King Khufu. It is one of the wonders of the ancient world and it is one of the heaviest structures ever built. It is built by his son and grandson. It is the biggest pyramid. The pyramids are the fine examples of their outstanding technical knowledge and sound administrative ability. How did this civilization decline? Let us know about the decline of Egyptian civilization. Every human activity, with whatever high degree of perfection it might achieve, ends up in a decay or disintegration. Same is true in the case of Egyptian civilization also. The rulers failed to bring a perfect and workable political system. Internal quarrels among the rulers led to disunity and disorder. Foreign invasions are the major cause for the decline of Egyptian civilization. The Persian Emperor Cambyses occupied Egypt in 6th century BCE. Alexander occupied Persia in 4th century BCE. Egypt became a province of Macedonia and Romans came in 39 BCE. The last Egyptian queen, Cleopatra, tried her best to save her country, but in 30 BCE, Caesar's successor, Augustus Caesar, defeated her army and Egypt became a province of Rome. In this way, Egyptian civilization ended. Children, we have learnt about Egyptian civilization. Let us recall once what we have learnt. In this lesson, we have learnt about importance of river Nile, why Egyptian civilization is called gift of river Nile, and afterwards we have learned the political system of Egyptians. Pharaoh means king, and he was absolute monarch, and he had power to control administration and also religious aspects. And not only that, you have understood women had a high status in Egyptian civilization, and Egyptian civilization had three class system: upper, middle, and lower class. And nobles, priest class people enjoyed higher status, where slaves suffered and they had a hard life. And after that, you have understood about pyramids and mummification and their religious beliefs. And then you have also learnt the artistic beauty of their architecture. And then finally, you also understood the causes for decline of Egyptian civilization. So let us conclude the lesson here itself. In the next class, you are going to learn Mesopotamia and Chinese civilization. Let us meet in the next class. Till that, take care. If you have any queries, please put it in our WhatsApp group, children. Thank you. Have a nice time.